Hi and welcome to another episode of The Story Behind. This is the story behind one of my popular prints called Keys of the Kingdom. I've been selling it for a long time now, and so I thought I'd do a little story behind this painting. It took me a long time to figure out when I first painted it, but this is the print that I have, right now for sale, a poster print on my website. And behind you can see that I'm painting it again for someone recently. So this is what started me off thinking about it. I was like, well, when did I first do this painting? So I went through my sketchbooks at first to find any pictures that I'd drawn. And this is a painting, a sketch I did back in 2004, and I was at a church meeting, and I was there for a long time. I think it was like a 12-hour thing or whatever, and I was just really worried about where I was going to live and all this stuff. And I wrote down these words to the left-hand side of it, and it says, I hold the keys to the doors of people's hearts and answers to where you will live. So not only was I feeling like the pictures that I do will unlock people's hearts, but also that God knew where I was going to live, or he had that in his hands. So this was about the same sort of time that I met Dave Marquis, who's a good friend of mine. Dave Marquis, excuse me, is a pastor of a church in Croydon called Folly's End. He's a bass player as well, and he's I had hair. He's worked with people like Bing Crosby, Pete Townsend, Frank Zappa, Eric Clapton, Roger Daltrey, just to name a few. He's got some great stories to tell, but he runs his school for people, in worship and all that, and want to do music and stuff like that. And I read his book a long time ago, and it was amazing to meet him. And he said, "Oh, you need to come to Croydon and teach my students art, a bit of painting as well as, they do music and stuff." But and so it was an amazing turning point for my life. This is the book Lost Glory. I urge you to go and buy that on Amazon. It's a great book. It's really good for anyone who's creative, who wants to do anything in the arts. It really changed the way I thought about arts and stuff like that. So so it was an honour to meet him. But it was at his church in Folly's End that I actually painted the first painting. I had the drawing in my sketchbook, and I decided at that point to actually paint it and try and do the painting. So here is the actual painting I did in this little classroom that was no longer, it wasn't being used as a classroom at that point, but it's in the same building. And I found a quiet spot and I painted this picture, and Dave Marquis actually bought it off me, and he has it in his office. Or did he just have it? I think he just had it. But my dad photographed the painting properly and actually did a really good print of it, and I was selling that for £65, I think, in a mount. And they did sell quite well. I mean, this painting is quite strong. And I always felt like it wasn't quite, I don't know, I kind of made it up, so I didn't use any reference material. But I did enjoy doing that painting. And it was amazing to actually get that sketch onto it. But then I found these, you see. This is what confused me, because I had no date on these. And I worked it out that this was done in 2005, a year later, these sketches. But I was actually doing it again. I wanted to paint it again, so I was trying to reminding myself of how to draw it, so I could do it really big at Spring Harvest 2005. You can see in the bottom corner there is the painting. It's about probably 4 foot high by, I don't know, 5 foot wide. But that was in 2005. I did this painting here, and actually someone really connected with that painting. They were praying, and God said something about keys and stuff, and this guy came up to me almost in tears, and I was like, well, it's obviously for you. So I gave him the painting, and he had that picture. I don't know where it's gone or whether it's still around or not, but I still wasn't satisfied that this picture had been done justice, really. The idea was in the sketchbook, and I wanted to do it properly, so I actually started Googling images of things like keys, and you can see that key there in the middle. It's got the little crucifix in the middle, and I wanted to use, I don't know if this is the actual picture I used or not. I just Googled this recently, but I remember seeing keys with crosses in them, and I thought that would be great to add that into the painting. So I added that, but I made the light go through the key to project some sort of cross in the background. I sort of used things like that, and prayer shawls as well. I actually Googled some prayer shawls, but I kind of took liberties on that, and I put the blue stripes and stuff across the sort of edge of the prayer shawl instead. So I kind of swapped that around a little bit. But I did do more research, and I actually photographed myself for this painting here. So this is kind of me. I can't find the photo. I spent the last 2 days looking for the photo I took of myself doing that, and I can't find it. Anyway, well, it probably would ruin the painting for a few people if they knew it was actually me. But that is the final painting, and I'm really pleased with it. And I'm really pleased that this is now a poster print. It's £10 on my website if you want to, buy it, on my Etsy store if you want to buy a copy of it. But I really like the way I sort of honoured this picture, and I took the time to get the light. I remember when I took the photo of myself, I actually put the lamp where the light is so the light would hit the right places. I wore a sheet over my head to get the light right, and I think, from the one before to this one now, I think I've definitely improved it. But maybe I'll improve it again in the future. I might paint it again. But if you want to buy this print, go to my Etsy store, Oliver Pengilley, and if you can hear that noise, that's my baby crying in the background. She's obviously woken up. Anyway, got to go. Bye bye.